Hello guys, I hope you are doing well. Last class we have been talking about statistics and the main parameters when dealing with data analysis. Today we will do some exercises, SAT exercises for the exam. Okay, let's take this SAT example. So in this question we have the dot plot which represent these samples as the histogram does. So the dot plot above shows the distribution of ages for 24 winners in some competitions. So in this question he's asking me, based on the data, which of the following is the average or the arithmetic mean of this competition? So how to solve this question? How to start solving this question? Normally we have the data, and for each one of these samples or for each one of this data we have the frequency of this sample. Example, let's take a look at this 18. This sample, for example, has a frequency of 6 samples, while this one has 3 and this 20 has 5, and so on. So how would I find the average of these samples? So the total number of samples is 24. So I have to take each one of these samples multiplied by the number of its frequency, and then we have to add all these samples and divide by 24. So 18 multiplied by 6 plus 19 multiplied by 3 plus 20 multiplied by 5, 21 multiplied by 4, 22 multiplied by 2, 23 multiplied by 3, and then plus 24 over 24. So by writing these samples and multiply each sample by its frequency, we will get this formula. By calculating this, we will get this number like 20.25. But he's asking me about the closest number to this number. So basically I have to choose B. So the answer to this question is B, because he's asking me to find the arithmetic mean. If I'm asking you to find the mode of these data, you would say immediately the mean is 18, because the frequency of this sample is the highest frequency among all of these samples. So finding the mean by this formula and finding the mode immediately by its frequency. So how would I find the median of these samples? In these samples, to find the median, I have to order these samples and then writing the frequency of each one of these samples. In this case we have n equals 24. So to find the median, basically n in this case is even. So dividing this by 2 I will get 12. But when n is even number, I have two middles, so I have to add these two middles and divide by 2. So to find the index, which is n in this case 12, so I have 6 samples plus 3, this would be 9 samples. So this would be the 10 and 11 and 12 samples. So adding these two samples, dividing by 2, give me the median, and in this case the median would also be 20. So in this question we found the mean, we found the mode, and we found the median. Let's take another example. In this example we have two tables. In these two tables we have some samples. These tables give us the distribution of some travel times between two towns for two buses. The first one, which is A, the second one, which is B. How many samples do we have in A and how many samples do we have in B? For each one of these buses we have 40 days. So how to find? He's asking me about the standard deviation of each one of these buses. Let's take a look at the question. Which one of the following statements is true about this question? A, the standard deviation of A is smaller than B. Option B, the standard deviation of B is smaller. C, the standard deviation of these two buses are equals, and D, the standard deviation for A and B cannot be compared with the data or the data provided. So how would I know which one of these is the correct answer? The first option I can try is just to calculate the standard deviation of A and then finding the standard deviation of B using the formula, but this would take a lot of time. But as I know in SAT question, I don't have to find the answer by calculation to answer this question. So how would I know the answer? Okay, let's take a look at these two tables. Even though the frequency are the same in these two tables, but we can notice that the travel time themselves are more spread out for bus B, while the travel times for bus A are much closer together. Look at these samples: 44, 45, 47, and 48, while in this case we have 25, 30, 35, 40. So the samples in this table are more spread out. So we can immediately notice that the standard deviation of this bus B is bigger than A. So comparing these two tables, we can immediately say that A is the solution for this question. The standard deviation of A is smaller than the standard deviation of B because these data are more spread out, and as we know, the standard deviation give us like a clue or a hint about how spread out the data are. The last question for today is this one. Look at this histogram, and we can notice from this histogram that he's saying the frequency distribution of a list of randomly generated numbers between 5 and 10. Which one of the following give me the mean and the range of the list of these integers? So basically I have to find the mean, I have to find the range of these samples. Let's take a look at this histogram. For this 5 or for this samples, we have 2 samples, so the frequency of this 5 is 2, while for this 6 we have 1. We don't have any samples for 7, for 8 we have 4, and for 9 we have 2, and for 10 we have 1. So to find the mean, we have to take each one of these samples, multiply by its frequency, and then we add along the samples. To find the range, immediately we can take the maximum minus the minimum, and in this case 10 minus 5, which is 5. So immediately I can choose that B, which has the range equals 5, and D, which the range equals 5. So either B or D. So I have to find the mean. How to find the mean? By using the formula. Remembering the formula of the mean, we have for this histogram 5 multiplied by 2 plus 6 multiplied by 1 plus 8 multiplied by 4 plus 9 multiplied by 2 plus 10 multiplied by 1 over the number of these samples. So we have to add 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. We can notice that this sample here is 7. We don't have any samples, so we didn't write anything in this formula. While the range, as we said, it's the maximum minus the minimum. So the correct answer would be B in this case. So to find the mean of these data, we used the formula. To find the range, immediately we can say maximum minus minimum. While the mode in this case is 8, we can, with following the same way, find the median, which is in this case we have to say that n equals 10. So to find the median, we have to order these data, and then we have to find the sample which has the index 5 and 6, adding them, dividing them by 2. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you and see you.